151 Carnivore day one in the private clinic. It's so many things happened yesterday. I don't even know where to start. So we arrived. I'm in a hotel room. It's amazing here. It's amazing. So there is a reason why in this clinic are a lot of oligarchs, diplomats, important people, because it's just incredible. If you go into the hospital as well, it's just like a bam. I can't even explain it. It's just so beautiful and so organized and clean. I know every hospital should be clean, but it's just, I don't know. So you pay also the price for that. But there are also less expensive treatments and things, which you also can do then for 5 days, for 7 days. There are also, they have everything. I think I did a short where I also showed a little bit of the price list they have here, but because they have everything. They have all the doctors here in the house, which are like the leading doctors in their fields, and they come for every appointment that people make, also privately. One appointment with a doctor for, I don't know how long, it doesn't say. It's around about 100 euros if you want to just talk to the doctor. But the waiting list is then very long, so you have to plan in advance. They have everything you can imagine, from the MRIs, from the ultrasounds and these kind of things, but laser techniques, everything that's new on the market is here. So you will always have the newest and best treatments there are on the market. They even have like a cannabis center, which is CBD oil, I think, and these kind of things, treatments. They have also these kind of things. They also have Botox, and if you want to have some, just look at my puffy face right now for me crying yesterday. So yeah, there is just a lot. So I'm gonna talk about the prices. I'm gonna talk about what I spent, what cost, what I'm doing, what's the plan. So yesterday when I came here at around about 8 o'clock, the first thing I did, I went to the receptionist, and she was so great. All speak English, most of them, or they speak German, or they speak Slovenia, so that I do understand a lot of Slovenian. So we try to communicate on 3 languages to get ourselves to the point, but the receptionist and they spoke English. So then she, collected every data and everything, and then she sent me to the lab, and there was a really cool young woman, and she was so nice and so kind, and so tried to explain everything. She gave me like shopping lists. So what do you want to test? They have packages. The package for women costs about 130 euros, for men 160, and they have everything: the liver, the kidneys, the heart, everything you need. The urine test, the feces test, however you say it. There you have all the electrolytes, everything, like, which will give you a short and quick answer if something is going wrong. And then you can add stuff. So I added stuff, and I came about 500 euros for the blood test. I added a lot of things, and most of the results will come in a week, and the package came now. So from the package perspective, from my organs and these kind of things, nothing, and even my CPR, nothing was spiking or too low or something, which was then odd. It's what I'm gonna explain in a little bit later, to explain the whole big picture, what I think happened, and I'm not sure if maybe this can be the reason why this is so high, because it's a little bit concerning. So so in this direction, there was nothing really showing up that something with the organs in the blood work would be, strange. But as I said, a lot of the also vitamin D and all these things will come soon, and some of them I already did also in my country, but I still did it again. Then I have then I choose to do the glucose test, where you have to wait to take the blood. Then you wait a half an hour. Then they give you a big glass of liquid, which is sweet. And then you have to, 2 hours later, come back and then they take another blood test, and then you see if it's spiking or not. That will show insulin resistance, diabetes too. Still not sure. There are a lot of different kind of information here, so I'm gonna go to a specialist and they should explain it then to me proper. But so that's what I did. And in between, before I had the drink, so I went in the lab test, had the lab test done, and then I did go to outside, because then I had a call with my boss from the whole situation that escalated the days before. And it was two of my colleagues, my boss, and I. And I knew it is going to be a very extremely exhausting conversation, because it's going to be very dirty. And I had no chance, because we should have it later, but they said, no, we have to have it immediately. So if you cannot join, we're going to have it by ourselves. And I knew I need to be present. So I said, I'm going to go outside and take the call. It's important how this call went, because I think that this stress level will explain why maybe these things happen, because I think maybe they have a correlation, but I don't know. So when this call happened, it was getting so damn dirty. I've never experienced that before. My stress levels were through the roof, and I'm just gonna try to explain as much as I can without saying too much. I'm just gonna switch the camera if my mom comes in, so I can tell her that I'm filming and not to do it again. So just wait a little bit. God, my legs look really puffy, but it's the truth. So my one thing you should know: I grew up with politicians and CEOs, so I know how people manipulate conversations, and I can recognize it faster than maybe most of the people, because I'm used to it. And that's one thing I hate the most. I hate nothing more in life when people try to manipulate others or to lie. That's like one thing that I'm so allergic, because I'm a straight shooting person. I would not lie. I would not have ever the need to manipulate somebody just to whatever. So that's what I'm most allergic to. And this whole conversation started before my boss came in, and me and my two colleagues I trust the most, and that's the sad part. I trust the most. We agreed on this. We are gonna talk about a we, and not about I have a problem, she has a problem, he has a problem. We're gonna talk about a we, because everybody said, we were all agreeing on that. We said he's doing a very poorly job. He is the bad one. He's not doing what he should do. He's never been a good leader. We are taking everything over, and that I took most of the things he had to do over and did it for the last 2 years. And that he now is showing his side and showing, I'm not a boss, I'm doing that, I'm deciding what's gonna happen, that this is just completely misplaced after 2 years doing nothing, and that we are not agreeing, and we will step up and we will say, we are not gonna work for you in your team anymore, because all the bosses, your bosses, hate you, and we don't respect you anymore because of what you wrote us and how you are now preserving yourself with wanting to decide a lot of things which are just stupid, so fucking stupid. We all agreed on that. And we said, we are not gonna talk through a flower anymore. We're gonna shoot straight. We're gonna say exactly that, in this way, in this matter. So the whole conversation, we agreed that my colleague will start the conversation and just said we were shocked about his message and what he's now trying to do and these kind of things. And my other colleague said, yeah, he then wants to add that he's not going to do it, and that he rather will quit before he will start doing what he says now to do. And I will back them up and also say, shoot straight. So it started strange. It started really strange. I looked at my female colleague I trust the most, and I wanted to help her to be the new leader of the team, because I had the feeling that she's a very strong person. She always shoots straight. She has a very good relationship in our headquarter with the other bosses. She would be perfect for the job, because I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to be promoted in this company ever, because of the situation just and how they handle these things, and I'm comfortable in my position. So I wanted to back her up, so we will have a little bit more of just a structure, because we think the same, so it would be proper for her also to be in the position. And even when she started the conversation, I felt she's not herself. She was suddenly like a scared little girl. And I was thinking, okay, maybe it's just because she has to open the conversation, but that was giving me some strange vibes at the beginning. So I was not sure what's happening. So then she started the conversation, and my boss started manipulating, and I saw it immediately. And the way he was acting, and he was working around the topics, and he tried to manipulate her to forget what the first question was, started to give her so much information. That's what a lot of people do, and which I hate the most. They don't answer the question. They just, combine a lot of information and just bully you even with that kind of way, just to forget what your question actually was and what was the problem, why are we here, and that what actually happened then in the middle. So then he started just talking about topics which weren't the topics. That was not what we were saying. That had nothing to do with what the problem is. And then everything started over and over. And my level of blood flow, I never had that before. It was like my whole blood was cooking, really. Everything started just getting into my head. It was just like, really, the blood was cooking, and it's everything went hot. I had the feeling I really had high fever, because I really felt and I was hot. So this sudden stress factor to see this conversation go this way was insane, was really insane, because it affects all of us, and will for a severe thing. And then I saw that my other colleagues started also engaging with this kind of behavior and started talking about the topic, which wasn't the topic. So at some point I said, stop, that's not the topic. And then I said, I'm gonna go for it, because I can't stand this. I cannot stand this. So I said to him, I'm sorry, you're not gonna want to hear that, but the real reason we are here, and I know you're trying to avoid this topic and go against it, but the real reason we are here is not the topics you are mentioning. It's you and only you. You are not a good leader. You are not our leader. We made it the last 2 years, being everybody having their democratical insights and finding solutions and doing it the proper way, and that was okay to the point to take all of your things you were doing, to take it over on us. It was fine. But now, after what you did yesterday, you lost us. You lost our respect, and we are the only people working here for your team, because everybody else is new, sick, not here, or can't do the job. So you have these 3 people who are here, and we are telling you that all of your bosses came to us and told us that they think that you're doing a very poor job since you're here in the company. And I said it straight face. And what I expected at the time was that my 2 colleagues will back that up in the same honest way and not talk to the foul what we discussed. So I thought, if I lead by example what we discussed, what we're gonna do with the exact words, what we said we're gonna do, that they will be brave and follow what we talked about, but they didn't. And he tried again to manipulate. So he always tried to change the topics. And in the end, before of the conversation, my blood pressure was through the roof. I saw that nobody had the guts to stand up. And I said, I'm gonna end this conversation now, repeating myself. You're talking about everybody else and who is doing a poor job. and we have to fix that, and we have to do that. And I'm telling you now for the last time, not we, it's you. You are the problem, not we, not the team, not the other people, you. Damn it, you. And if you can't see that, and if you can't start listening to us, what we are telling you for years now, and you never listen, then I'm not ready anymore to do that like this, and I'm not going to support you anymore. And the other two didn't back that up in that way. They just said, yeah, they have to go to an appointment, and he was losing it, my boss, and he was like, that's how you all think of me, blah, blah, blah. And then they just said, oh, no, I have to go to the appointment, blah, blah, blah. And we're, going out of and I said, I have my doctor's appointment. We can talk about it on Monday. And that was how the conversation ends. When I came in the hotel after all my things, I discovered that he was going to his bosses at the same time. And we don't know what exactly happened, but one of the bosses of his went to my colleague and asked him what is happening in our team. So we don't know what exactly he wrote him, but we know he doesn't like him. So in the end, it wouldn't be like a big thing. But I'm pretty sure he threw one of us or all of us under the bus, saying that we are refusing to work with him and deliver and these kind of things. So I'm pretty sure that happened. So this is going to be a wave of problems starting from now, which I can't handle, which I don't want to handle. So that's the issue, but I have to. I could call in sick and just give a fuck, but I can't, because I have the opportunity to work from remote, which is something that's really good. And if I call in sick, I have to go back to my country, and can't travel now to get all my appointments done and still work from co-working spaces. So I'm trapped a little bit, but that's what I'm gonna handle. After this whole conversation, I did drink the liquid with the sugar. I have to take you one because I will have to have my battery. Sorry. Sorry, I'm in a chaotic hotel room right now. And I had then to drink the liquid for the glucose test. So after that, they prepped me for the MRI. So in the MRI, what happens is when you have a whole body scan, you are not having the contrast. It takes 50 minutes. I have every half year an MRI, so I'm used to it, but I'm always panicking. I'm claustrophobic, and I learned over the years a lot of breathing techniques that keeps me sane there and survive, because as soon as I'm in there and it's just horrible. They start to, like, in a mental clinic, when they just trap you in that never did that when they do just my head, but she had to trap my whole body in this thing. It was horrible. I think that's like one of the worst things, just to experience that, been trapped and you can't do anything about it. It's just, and one thing I learned is just close the eyes and try to imagine you're somewhere else, and then focus on the breathing because I can feel the MRI, how it spins, and I can feel it in my body. And I started just being then dizzy, and I saw the things in my inner picture, just because of the energy waves that come, that a lot of people can see that and experience that, because it's really extreme what is happening in MRI. Can't explain it, but you just see the energy waves like going this. You can just see it in your inner head, and that's what's making you then dizzy and like you're drunk. And the only thing that helps me in this case is also when you have the Wim Hof breathing techniques that really help me a lot of times. And if you don't know him, Wim Hof, look it up, learn how to do it proper, because that's one thing that really can save you. And also other working techniques, breathing techniques from yoga. There are so many things you can do, and it really helps, because without that, I would scream there, I would have a panic attack, and I would get out. So that was the only thing keeping me safe. Then the last 15 minutes, you have the headphones. Thankfully, usually I don't have that, the music or something. So they had music, so that was good, because 50 minutes, even without anything to keep your mind occupied, is horrible when you're scared. So that was a good thing. And then they they last 15 minutes, you hear over the headphones then the breathing techniques. I knew what's gonna happen because I did that for the pancreas, gallbladder, and what did I check? Pancreas, liver. And with these three things I checked, then they made the same thing also with the 15 minutes breathing techniques, which is you breathe in, you breathe out, and then you are not allowed to breathe anymore. And it's about 10 seconds or 12 seconds because I'm counting then just to keep my mind occupied. And that's a little bit hard. That's what my colleague and I also discussed, that how old people who maybe struggle with breathing, that's really hard, even for me, Then it was done, and I immediately got the CD with all the pictures. So I have them in my hand. I can go to every doctor and every specialist. I can go to a cardiologist and give him the pictures and tell them, to look into my pictures. The most important part is not every doctor is really good in reading the MRI pictures. So there are some who are very good at it and some who just are not good at it. So you have always to check before with the people and calling them and say, I have the MRI pictures. Can you really do that? And look it through, because I'm a person, I want a doctor sitting next to me. I want every specialized doctor, when something also shows up, sitting next to me, show me the pictures. I want to see it. I want to see it by myself. That's what also my doctor is always doing with me in a MS clinic. She shows me my brain. She shows me the lesions. She shows me exactly what's happening because it's here. That's why your hand is a little bit more affected here because the lesion is a little bit here. And so she explains exactly, or why you can't remember suddenly names because the lesion is here. And so she really explained it so well, and that gives me just comfort and a safe feeling. So I need the explanations. The interpretation of the pictures will happen in maybe a week, when the radiologist they have will interpret the pictures. Then he writes a report, and then he will send me the report. Then I have to translate it, see what maybe will show up. For example, your heart, there is something, blah blah blah. Then I know, with this information, I know my next steps are the cardiologist, for example. Or your stomach is showing that, or your feet have, I don't know, broken leg and you didn't even mention, whatever. So you're gonna write a report, and then you know exactly what to do next. So that's that part. Then I talked to the lady on the reception. She gave me everything. I paid the bill. So then we discussed what are the next appointments. And I have on Monday, that at 4:00 the same day yesterday, I got the first blood results back, which are the normal ones I told you, and the glucose test. And the other will come in a week, like vitamin D and a lot of other things. And then on Monday, I do have the coloscopy and endoscopy. They gave me all the pulvers I have to take. So for 3 days before of that, I have to start fasting. So the last hard meal I can eat is today for lunch. And then I have to fast until Monday. And with this pulver, you will just go to the toilet all the time until everything is clean. So it will be diarrhea in 3 days. So that's why I said I want to have a last proper meal. Also going for breakfast now. Maybe have something that I would never have now on Carnivore, just out of fun, just to have something, because in a couple of hours it will be gone and out of my system anyway. I thought the same yesterday in the evening, because they had this buffet, and I said, I'm gonna eat whatever I want if I'm in the mood. But in the end, it was really not on purpose. I sat down, I looked at my plate, and it was just full of fish and meat, and I was then laughing. I took so much of the rice just to see if I still like the risotto with asparagus. But it was just like, I still love risotto, is still my favorite food, but it's not giving me like anything big. And I had something sweet for dessert, but that was it. But basically my whole plate, from natural instinct already, were full of meat and fish, just because they look the best to me, and everything else I didn't want to eat, with all the sauces and all the fried things and all these things which I usually would go for. I was like, I don't want to eat them. So that's interesting. So I will have then that. It will be under narcosis because I don't want to know what they're doing. And they're gonna put the camera in here and in the back, and they want to check everything. And if they're gonna do a biopsy, so they take away a little bit of the skins and will send it to the lab. And if there is a polyp or something that's happening, they're just gonna remove it also there at the same time. So this will gonna happen, and that's one thing I'm interested in most, because I will have all the pictures of my gut system, because I do have a lot of IBS syndrome problems with my gut since years and years and years. So to know really and see it in pictures and see if something is really showing up, that will be very interesting. So, and on the next day, I also made an appointment for another DEXA scan, because I did a DEXA scan maybe 30 days in Carnivore. So we will have to compare then what's happened in the 120 days additional, which I'm now 150 days in, 151. So when I got my blood test back at 16 o'clock, it showed that my glucose test was extremely high. It was 11.44. I shared in the shorts also my results. And when I talked to friends and also to my dad, and a lot of people started, giving me a little bit of advice. They said it's maybe the insulin resistance, but the problem is that the question is, which is odd, me being on Carnivore, that was so high is a little bit strange. So the other problem was looking into the diabetes too. There was a website explaining the things with the high blah blah blah, and there were the symptoms. And one of the things that really threw me off was that all symptoms apply to what I'm having. And it's not like, okay, you're dizzy, you have a little bit of cramps, and that can be everything. But the one thing showed up, which is from the guy the woman's doctor, which I have been there. I did have an infection, and that was also one of the symptoms, that people who have that also have these kind of infections. And that was a strange one. And also with the eye problems, it was also mentioned, and everything else I'm having as well. But these two things in combination were throwing me off. And also in the combination with all the symptoms I'm having with me, with my eating habits and my gut all the time and these kind of things. So I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna look with a specialist into it. I'm not gonna take one opinion. I'm gonna do the test again, because what I think also might have caused this high thing is still me before I was drinking the liquid. I had like these extreme stress happening, which I never experienced before, which actually my body went into a fever state because of the stress I told you at work. So I cannot be sure that didn't have an impact. No matter what I say, I can't be sure about that. So I'm gonna, after a month, do the same test again at my doctor's, and if it's still the same results, then I'm gonna get deeper into it. I also looked up the vitamin D and K, the protocol, please look at my last video. Somebody wrote it down. Thank you for that. I didn't know the name for it. I looked up the doctors who are doing this protocol, where you can really do it with them and do it proper. So we're gonna look into that. And I'm gonna do the protocol with them before I go to the MS clinic. So I'm gonna try that. But the most important part is, you cannot just take any kind of supplements and just go for it and everything is gonna be fine. You really need somebody who knows that. And there are a lot of also people and people in this hospital. They're specialized also on magnesium therapies and these kind of things. So you really need to find people, then doctors, who can make your blood work and check everything because you can have too much of something and it will cause you problems. So really, really dangerous. I saw with my B12 that I didn't even realize that. It was just by coincidence, me having my old blood work for maybe in February, March. No, before I got Carnivore, my blood work was on my computer, and I just looked it up and I saw the B12, and my B12 was already over 700, and Chafee said always to go, it has to be over 400. So it was already, enough. And then I had the injections, and everybody was saying, whoa, that's a lot of injections. And I just thought, okay, let's go for it. Just let's have too much, because it will go with the urine. But as I said, I don't think that overdoing of the B12, also reading some of the medical articles, I'm not sure about that. So that's why also they're going to check also the B12, the vitamin D and everything. So maybe also the omega and these kind of things. They will check that, and then I will have all the information. And with that information, I'm going to go to the right people and start the protocol, because I do think, and also my mom is completely convinced, for a sports doctor who healed his MS with that, and he was famous for that. So I'm gonna try that. I'm really gonna try that first. So the other thing, what also happened is that my iron is extremely low. It was just 7, and the problem is I had 1 month before I had the infusion. I had the damn infusion, and my doctor said it's it will you will have it at least maybe 2-3 months to be proper full, but it's 7 again. So also the low iron maybe are causing all these things. So I will try maybe when we are going somewhere to see if they can give me the iron, and maybe in the clinic they have somebody ready to prepare it, and just to get the iron shots, and maybe this will help. But yeah, my mom will come now, so that's a big picture, and I'm gonna keep you updated. I received your comments, your messages, I read them. I will apply to that, so thank you for that. But for now, you see, I have a lot of information to deal with, and I have a lot of support, and I'm feel very safe here. So I'm paying also a lot of money. As I said, I'm gonna tell you, the blood work was 500, the MRI was 1,000, the endoscopy, gastroscopy, the whole thing with the gut will cost, also with them telling me also everything, will cost around 900. And the DEXA scan is going to be 42, and they can also talk about what's happening. Euros. The hotel room is next to the hospital. You can have a cheap one, but I'm staying with my mom, my son. It has breakfast, dinner, spa, and everything, and it costs about 800 euro. It's completely fine. It's really beautiful. It's a castle actually, or something like that. You see it in the shorts. That was just the dining room, and so it was just incredible. It's just they're like, the queen will be there. You have to see it. It's just incredible. But it's next to the hospital, and for me that was really important, because me them having this diarrhea and these things for days, I'm just traveling, I can't put my body into more stress. So I said I'm just going to use it as a little vacation with my family, because I'm so minimal. I don't spend money on anything besides the health. So and so the whole situation I'm having now with the hotel and everything will cost around 3,200, something around that. But you have here everything, very small amounts of money. You can come here and just stay somewhere where the apartment costs 20-30 euros. So it's not like only the rich people can afford that, or only people who have money can afford that. It's really, you can access it just privately and pick and choose like a menu what you want to do depending on what problems you have. And for me, this is the first time, and who didn't see my video where I was crying my eyes out yesterday or the day before, you see what I went through with the healthcare system. So paying people to have the time to work with me, that's a luxury. I it's different. It's very different, and so I can tell you that makes a big difference, of course, because the doctors are not the problem. I talk to many doctor friends I have at home, and the doctors are not the problem. It's the system they are putting in. They have 2 minutes. That's what my family doctor friend told me. She has 2 minutes to talk to a patient, and she doesn't have the time then to talk about their food or whatever. She just has to fix the problem as it goes. So I feel still stressed because of the situation with my boss. I try to calm down and not to take care of it, but it's still affecting me. But I slept very well. We had a AC, so the room temperature was very good. The bed was very comfy. It's very important because of my back. After it, we're gonna go to Bosnia. I do have there one of my best therapists. He's like insanely good with the back part and everything that's going on wrong there. And he's an orthopedic physiotherapy god. And I'm gonna let him fix me for a couple of days and see if this is going to be better. My dad is trying to organize some of the people who will interpret then my MRI maybe before the week. We will see. So for me, the most important part is the gut on Monday, to be honest, and I want a cardiologist to check my heart situation just because of the location. I want to go to an aesthetic doctor as well so he can check again the implant thing situation because it's just still horrible pain and it's just not normal. But it can also just be affected maybe by the back or something that is just going everywhere. So that's why I need an orthoped who will also look at the pictures if something is showing up, that something is broken or just in the wrong way because I had the accident. Maybe something in the accident are now starting to move of because of my Muay Thai and Krav Maga situation. Maybe there's just something broken and now it's starting to get loose inside, and I hope the MRI will show if this is the case maybe, and this is causing irritation and problems all around my body, who knows. And I'm just waiting now for my mom. She's my biggest support. And my son is gonna come back today from Italy from his trip with his friends, so I'm happy he wasn't here for the whole drama. And then we will hopefully spend just a little bit of a nice time. And tomorrow then start my diarrhea day. and just be clean and light and losing so much weight. No, but yeah, I'm just kidding. But I'm not kidding. It's the truth. So I gave you now 36 minutes of an impact, and promise I will also have your emails and things on then and reply as soon as the things now I collected all the data. I need now all the data, and I'm gonna have it, and I'm paying a lot of money for it, and I'm in the right hands here, and I feel so safe for the first time. I just feel I'm on the right place, and I'm so thankful for that I can have that I can afford that. And maybe me losing my job because of the whole death situation or just quitting or whatever. It's a short period of time that I can now enjoy the luxury that I have a salary and can pay these stuff and do these things. So that's what I'm always dealing with, and being always in the back of my mind, always knowing that people suck. People in work life can suck so bad, and that's one of the worst things. I will also today, my colleague maybe will call me because I wrote, we were talking then, and I said I felt alone. I was trusting you guys and you let me down. It was a punch in the face, which I didn't expect, and I am a very not trustworthy person to others. I really am very careful with people and trusting, but I didn't expect that. It was the first time that I was not prepared for something, because I'm always prepared for the worst case scenarios, but I was not prepared for them not backing me up and not being there and have my back, not even my back, our back. And I told her, and she said she's so sorry that happened, that I felt that way. She got scared, and that's not her character. So I misjudged her character, that she's one of the brave ones, one of the loud ones, and I can understand that people, that's not easy to be that way and to be that direct, because it comes with a lot of troubles then, and which I have now to deal with the bosses and everything, and him maybe putting me into a bad corner, bad light, trying to now break me down, which is like the worst thing. He can break me down because he can just give me stuff to work which I don't want to work on, and if I just refuse, I have to deal with it on the highest levels, and I don't have the energy for that right now. So that's the struggle I'm having right now, and he can do a lot of damage because he knows a lot of things that we are having unofficial arguments, his boss and me, but he can go to a higher level and say that this is inappropriate, that we have some special deals, like me going work remote, and that I'm one of the rare ones, and these kind of things, just because of my status and the things that I'm doing. So I have to be prepared for a lot of damage, but I try not to focus on that and just deal with it when it comes. But yesterday showed me that you can never be prepared for something in the end, no matter how much you plan things and discuss things, and that people are evil, really. or are then other people are just scared and afraid and don't have the guts that they're showing behind people's backs. And that's what I hate the most, you know. If I have a problem with you, I'm gonna tell you in your face, and I'm not gonna go behind your back and play a role. Oh yeah, I'm so annoyed. Yeah, he's that. I'm not gonna say it into your face. That's just so weak. It's just weak. So tell me what's the problem. Also, when you have a problem with me, that's also what I always tell my team. Tell me when you have a problem, because I can't smell it. You know, tell me if you have any issues, or if I said something, I've done something. But you need to talk and say it straight face. Don't say it through the flower. I can't deal with that. Just say what is going on. Did I piss you off? If so, what did I say? And then I can say, okay, maybe you're right. I can think about it. I can reflect. I can do something. I can work on that, or we can find another solution. But I'm always a solution finder, and that's right now. I'm at the point in this team that the first time in my life, I don't have a solution for that. I don't have a solution for that amount of trust broken. Also, my boss then, or my team lead, go to the bosses and write an email, which we have no idea what he wrote, and pretty sure just wanted to make his ass safe, because he's he's getting double as we do, from money perspective, for doing nothing, and he just wanted to save his ass. So yeah, that's what's going on. So hope you have a big picture now, and thank you that you're allowing me to talk to you guys and just get these things out of my head. Looking forward my mom to come to have breakfast. I don't have usually really breakfast, so I'm just gonna have these moments, you know, in the hotel, going to a breakfast and waiting for my son, and then go with him to the to swim and to walk. It's such beautiful outside, but we do have storms here as well. So, and just enjoy this day until tomorrow. Hell broke loose. So yeah, I read all your comments on my last video yesterday, and I'm just so blessed, so thankful. Read also the email. So I thank you, and I'm not gonna cry again, because I thank you. You are a big part of my support group right now. You're cheerleader, the Wolfpack cheerleaders, and I'm now in just a better state of mind, just knowing that I'm in good hands, and that I will have my answers, and that I will have everything black and white, and see what's going on, and I will go from there, and can go from there, and can troubleshoot from there. That's my personality. If I need the evidence, and then I can troubleshoot, and I would want to see that. And then I can plan, and I love to plan. And I love to have things under control freak. So thank you. And yeah, I'm reading all not many dirty jokes from the last video, so you need to tell me dirty jokes. I think Jeffrey did write a dirty joke. Thank you for that. So I need more dirty jokes. So thank you, and see you tomorrow. Hopefully, no, probably not. And next 2 days when I'm in diarrhea situation. So I will write you in the community post, but I will always just check in with you guys, and thanks. Bye.